This woman who looks like Harden actually has a flea living in her beard. Not only that, there is also a female flea living in her puppy's hair. The two fleas fell in love with each other at first sight. The woman combs her beard every day, and the male flea also learns to do so in the same way. This will attract the attention of the female flea, but their meeting time is limited. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. The woman put the dog on the ground. When she opened the door, she saw a bald man wearing a suit. Even after the passionate confession, the woman tactfully rejected the man wearing a suit. However, at night, after the male flea dressed up in great clothes, he jumped on the puppy's hair and then came to female flea. But the unexpected thing is that it is difficult for the male flea to adapt to the environment here. The female flea quickly picked up the male flea, jumped onto the woman's beard. Then the male flea regained consciousness. Suddenly blisters began to appear on the female flea's ankles and upper body, but in order to protect herself, the female flea quickly jumped back into the puppy's hair. But who would have thought that the female actually hugged the puppy, and her long beard extended towards the puppy's hair. In order to be together, the two lovers ignore the danger and insist on getting close to each other. Although they were full of wounds, the puppy suddenly pulled away, and the two had to separate. The next morning, the female actually started to cut his beard. But at this time, the man who had not given up picked up a flower and expressed his love to the woman again. Because the puppy was allergic to flowers, he sneezed and blew away the female flea. Fortunately, the male flea was quick-witted and stretched out his hand to save the female flea. But at this time, the woman cut them off with a knife, and both of them easily fell on the man's head. Since it was difficult to adjust to the environment here, both of them looked at each other with great difficulty, and eventually both fainted. But a magical thing happened. The man suddenly grew thick hair on his head, and eventually spread all over his body. The good news is that they have adapted themselves to the new environment here and are living together as they wish.